What is up, my little deinos? Vepsis, CEO gods of the Helsinki Hydreigons, and we are here for the BFO Surge WIFI tournament week 4 battle when I go up against Hunbi. And he is actually somebody that I've got to know more recently through Addison, aka Aquarius' community. He's a very funny guy, and I'm gonna be linking his only upload that he has done on YouTube. It's a very short video, but it kinda hits my humor in itself, so make sure to check that one out. And before we jump into the battle in itself, the usual thing, as of course, is talking about the transaction that I made going into this battle that will take effect. And we were given 10 extra points, and the highest tier mod that we can potentially pick up if we want to do so is from the 15-point category. Now, if you want to skip this part of the video and you're just here to see the battle in itself, that I'm sure most of you are just here to see it, the timestamp should be popping right about now on the left side of my webcam in itself to the empty area in itself. So you can look from that where the battle starts in itself, but if you want to hear about the transaction that I made, I'm gonna be talking about it now very briefly before we get into the battle in itself. So as I said, we got access to 10 points. As usual, after each battle you gain 10 extra points to spend for a free agency. Whether you're gonna be doing 1 or 2 free agencies is always up to you in itself. And for me, because I wanted to keep most of my core intact when it comes to my key 4 members that I've kept. Well, not key, but they're kind of like the OG members of the team, I should say, like the first overall pick right period that I did. Then we had the Mesprit, we had the Mismagius, we had the Machamp. Those 4 are the ones that I try to keep in hold on as long as I possibly can, while it still makes sense to me. Then we have been able to add ourselves Trapion from the week 2 battle. And after that we were able to last week addition to that Blastoise as well. But after I've been able to add all of those into my roster, we were kind of lacking natural speed on the team, so I was kind of looking to find a ways to add that back to it because we lost the Ambipom. I didn't really have proper way to kind of navigate that loss in itself on my roster. So instead of looking from the 15-point category and try to get rid of one of the higher tier mons that I had, I instead chose to upgrade my Volbeat to a 12-pointer and a fast mon from there. And luckily enough for me, Crobat was available from the 12-point category. Now we're gonna be jumping to the showdown itself. So the Volbeat is the one that we are dropping. It is one of the prankster bugs that I kept around always, but I never end up bringing them. But I always thought, off the chance I really need them in a pinch, prankster Thunderwave can always come in handy. But I wanted to have the natural speed through the Crobat, and a Crobat is going to be naturally wise the fastest Pokemon most likely to be used throughout this rest of the tournament, because the only thing on paper that outpaces this would be Ninjask and Electrode, I think. But I'm pretty confident we are not going to be seeing either of those 2 mons for the rest of the tournament. So ideally, because of that, Crobat will always be the fastest mon on matchup wise from each side, whether I'm going to be having it alone or my opponent also has one on their roster as well. So I kind of wanted to have that advantage for myself. I didn't mind adding another poison type, because Trapion and Crobat don't actually share a weakness, because Psycha doesn't exist in this, so there's no 1000 Arrows weakness that they share altogether potentially through that. So I do like the Crobat for that. It kind of lost a couple of key moves. It lost Super Fang and Heat Wave from its arsenal, which are little annoying because they are very usable moves. For Nasty Plot said obviously Heat Wave was very good for steel types. Super Fang is always just a very good utility move to have, but other than that it kept pretty much key moves. Something like Toxic, for example, if it ever comes into play, is useful. Fast Taunt I think is gonna be very useful. It kept its recovery in roost. It still gets access to Nasty Plot that we saw from my last week's battle. That was still actually annoying, particularly versus my own team. So if in a similar matchup, maybe I can do something similar to my opponent as well. And most importantly, at least it kept its Brave Bird. It was able to keep Cross Poison, I believe, as its strongest poison move in itself, and it gets access to Steel U-turn. So these are like the key 3 moves that I see on a physical side, and I'm glad that it at least kept. Because Brave Bird coming out of a Crobat, even with 90 attacks, that is still very good. And if the matchup allows me to run Adamant, it's gonna still hit pretty hard, and you're gonna be seeing today in the battle as we transitioned into it, I was able to bring a choice banded Crobat versus Hunbi, and that's one of my best winning conditions versus as we go into it. So in that regard, I do like the pickup in Crobat, and I'm hoping to keep it for the rest of the run. Sadly, we have to say again, Volbeats goodbye, similar to Illumise, but they serve their purpose while I don't have anything else better to pick up with my remaining of the points. But now I have a pretty strong roster adding with the Crobat to my team. When you're gonna be seeing the roster right here, you're gonna be seeing already my team builder aspect, how I do this. But we're gonna be jumping into the battle in itself, so you get to see the 4 monsters, what the sets they are, and this is the matchup in itself as we transition it. So let's go and see how this battle turned out. Alright, here we are with the battle with Hunbi as we are waiting to get connected. You get to see the matchup right about now as I'm editing it. It's gonna be an interesting matchup versus Hunbi, someone that I never got to play before and somebody that I've just recently gotten a chance to meet in Traffic community through Aquarius' side from the community in itself, that who she has got to know, and Hunbi happens to be one of them. Very funny guy. I'll leave his one YouTube video that he has posted on his channel thus far, so make sure to check that one out. And thus far both of us are going in this undefeated, both of us are guaranteed for the playoffs. This is now just about seeding wise, that who we go up against in round 1 instead, and the matchup is looking pretty nice for myself in a way that I like my Crobat's matchup considering the changes he made. But he definitely has some scary Pokemon like Togekiss and Lucario can easily get out of hand if I'm not careful enough. And for me, I'm bringing myself a choice banded Jolly Crobat with enough speed that a timid Choice Scarf Explode will not be able to outpace me. I will outpace it by 1 point. I also am able to outpace a modest Choice Scarf Togekiss as well with this speed creep. Then we have a some sort of like specially defensive yet offensive stealth rocking Rhyperior with Sword Dance and Dual Stab. The Puzzle Berry is there for the Surf from Explode that I expected to be his main coverage to hit Rhyperior. Then we have Dual Screens, Psychic Energy Ball, Offensive Lead, Mesprit. This is there to get a base screen or 2, ideally both of them, get some damages off, and then I progress into my last member of the team if the opportunity arises, which is my Lumberry. 3 attacks, Nasty Plot, Mismagius, which is there to open the door for Bandit Crobat to clean up the game with Brave Bird, and ideally Crobat, while cleaning up the game, doesn't have to take too much recall because of the work my other members have been able to do onto his members. That's kind of the end goal of this team, how I wanted to play around. But we'll see how it's gonna be going, as he's gonna be bringing the Gastrodon. Again, not surprising enough, this is one of the reasons why I wasn't able to bring my favorite starter Blastoise yet 2 weeks in a row after picking it up, which is pretty annoying. Then he brings the Togekiss, Explode, and Lucario. So, out of this, I'm not like too surprised. I was kind of expecting this to be the case, that what he brings. I'm glad that I don't see... Well, in a way, Arcanine wasn't too big of an issue. Combuskin I didn't really see coming. Neither I don't expect him to really considering it. And Roserade, well, I had Drapion and Crobat just added to my roster and Mesprit. So, Roserade didn't necessarily have the greatest matchup. So I can definitely see these 4 to be his best ones. I need to weaken down Togekiss a little bit for Crobat to be able to sweep. For Gastrodon we have grass coverage on the Mismagius and Mesprit, so I think this should be fine. I'm leading with Mesprit, and good luck and have fun for Hunbi. Hopefully the best man will win today and progress to be the undefeated, and one of us will go down as 3-1, which is still phenomenal record in itself. He leads with the Explode, as I lead with my Mesprit. So I wonder if this is like a choice specs lead from his end. But either way, I'm getting up my light screen. We are gonna get to see that he is faster, so he is choice scout with this. And he's gonna be doing quite a bit to us. To our Mesprit in itself. And I'm at 37% now. Or 37 HP. Not percentage wise. And now that the light screen is up, I don't actually outpace this thing. I could go into my Rhyperior here. which I think should be fine, as he's probably gonna stay in. And then honestly after that I can go for my stealth rocks, as he goes for another boom burst, which shouldn't do all too much since we are behind a screen. Now, based on his team, I definitely want to get up my stealth rocks to break a potential focus sash and get some chip on the Togekiss with these crocs, cause there's no heavy duty boots in this meta game. I feel like based on like I'm timid max speed Mesprit, so there's no way that thing was able to outpace me unless it was Scarf. He goes into hard into Togekiss instead, as I'm getting up my stealth rocks. I'm not sure what he's planning to do. He could have Crash Knot on this, which I'm curious to see right now how much it would do. Togekiss, if you are Crash Knot with this, max special attack into my Rhyperior, that is at 167. Crash Knot should not be able to kill me here. He could also go for the defog here. I could go into my Miss Maggis here and get up a nasty plot, which I think I will do. I wanna keep this thing healthy for the Explode if I need to pivot on. And I expect him to click Crash Knot if anything here, not like Thunder Wave or Air Slash. He goes for the sub. Okay. He goes with this sub with this Togekiss. He hasn't revealed leftovers. So I think I'll go for the Shadow Ball to break this thing up and see what he does here. This should always break his sub unless he's very specially defensive, and we do break it up. He does go for the Ancient Power, okay. He doesn't get the boost, thankfully. So if I go into +2, I will not two-shot this unless he's not bulk invested. I think Shadow Ball is always my best play here. So I go for another Shadow Ball, just to engage the damage. Oh my goodness, that was a critical hit. And a Spadef drop. That's a hefty amount of damage he had to take. He goes for another Ancient Power, which we take fine. And now I'll go for the Mystical Fire, just to cover a Explode swap in. But I don't expect him to swap in anymore. So I'll just go for the Mystical Fire. And we are able to get rid of the Togekiss. So Togekiss is gone. I guess a little ironic that he didn't get the Ancient Power boost, while I got the crit Spadef drop. So call that ironic or not. He does go to the Explode again. The light screen is still up, so I think I still take the hit just fine from Explode. If it's Choice Scarf. Oh, when it is Choice Scarf. Yeah, I'll take it just fine and I can Mystical Fire this thing down and see what it's locking itself into. He does go for the Surf, which shouldn't do all too much as we can see, and I get the Mystical Fire off. And nothing really wants to take those. Now I could go for the Nasty Plot. But I think I'm always good off just firing off a Mystical Fire, because after that if Gastrodon comes in I can Energy Ball it. And I know my Crobat can clean up the game with Brave Birds. So I like that late game. We have the Stealth Crocs up. He does go for the Surf again. Now without a light screen. We get another Mystical Fire off. And now he says -2. And I think I'm good to go for it again, or do I wanna swap? I don't think I wanna swap at all. We just go for it again. He does withdraw. Probably a Gastrodon we would expect to see. Yep. Which I'm fine with. I can Energy Ball this thing, get some good damage on this thing. Let's see. He goes into the 94%. I probably won't be able to tell too much how much this is supposed to do. It did like 5%. And we get the special attack drop. He's probably packing Rindoberry on this. I could nasty plot first just to see what he goes for, because this could have mirror coat. Because if this is a Rindoberry, I would have to be at +2. I think I'm good to +2 with this. I doubt he swaps. Okay, he does swap. Okay, he goes back to this. But that should be okay, because I can sack up my Mesprit here. Because I'm pretty sure Miss Magius dies to this Explode now. Surf should be able to pick me up. I'm not... It doesn't actually kill me, so I could technically stay in. But I would like to get my Crobat in, potentially. But then again, do I need to? No. Let's just finish this thing off with another Mystical Fire. I should be able to live this. Well, he goes for the Boom Burst. Okay, so he kills me with that. But that means that my Rhyperior can come in here. My Rhyperior can come in here, which should not allow anything to set up. And I can go for an Earthquake. As he does stay in. And I can go for the Earthquake. This should not allow the Lucario to set up. Unless it's on an Air Balloon. If it's on an Air Balloon, then great breath from his side. But I feel that it's gonna be Life Orb for the extra damage boost. We should see the Gastrodon. Okay, he does go to the Lucario. Which is shiny. Takes Stealth Rocks. No Air Balloon. Okay, we stay into Earthquake. He goes for the Meteor Mash. Which is probably gonna pick me off, as it's going to do. And it's going to be Life Orb, as I kinda thought it would be. We go into Crobat and click Brave Bird. Now I need to see that if this is a Adamant, Extreme Speed, how much do I take recoil from Gastrodon? That's mainly the big thing I have to worry about. I would take 29, 30. Lucario would take... I think I should be fine Brave Birding here. So we are gonna be going for just for that. He does go for the Extreme Speed. We are able to get take it, even a critical hit. And this should be taking him out. Now, ideally, I don't die to recall because of that crit, so I get the necessary damage on the... We live on 1 HP. Thank you, Crobat. Thank you, because I'm worried about a little bit of Rindoberry on Gastrodon now that I didn't see leftovers. But yeah, that's good. I could see him just recovering here, to be honest. I feel like that's would be his best play to do. But like, how much am I doing to Raigas PDF Gastrodon? Could I just kill this right here? If it's specially defensive. 74. There's a chance I kill him if he's PDF. So I'm gonna try to go for that. There's a good chance he goes for like recover, but I wanna get this damage so I'll be able to kill this potentially. Okay, he is not. His best play should be recovering here. Yeah, he does recover. So now Mesprit. I wonder, let me check actually, does Gastrodon still run Mirror Coat? It does run Mirror Coat, so I would have to worry about that. But at the same time, amount of health that I'm at 37. Scald would kill me here. If I get a light screen up, I can get potentially 2 turns. So do I just light screen here? This is PDF that I'm calling versus. Energy ball, unless he's... So I'm at 37, he will need a max roll. I think my best play is always energy ball now looking at it, just energy ball. He's endure. Is he endure cast tap? That's an interesting prep. He might be endure cast tap then. Let's go for another energy ball. What is he going for? Scald. That does manage to kill me. Okay, well, good game to Hunbi. He managed to beat me with 1-0. In a hindsight, now seeing that he had Endure, if I clicked the light screen, that would have been a better play. And probably now looking at it, maybe it should have been the play I should have done. But either way, great game to Hunbi. Congratulations going 4-0. I think it's a pretty funny meme for the league, but he earned it regardless, at least versus me. In a hindsight, if I clicked the light screen instead of the energy ball when he clicked the Endure, I would have been fine. But I was worried about if his Rindo Berry, I'm clicking light screen and then I'm giving him 2 turns to scald me, and if he gets a scald burn, he would kill me with 2 hits, and I'm pretty sure even 2 hits with scald if I'm behind a light screen would kill me. I'm at 37 HP. Oh, I was at that point. So if he scalded me twice as I click light screen, it would have meant that... Yeah, okay. I guess the other play would have been that I would have swapped into my Crobat. I think that was the another thing I could have done differently. But I was thinking, like, yeah, I think that... I guess the I should have just swapped into Crobat into Mesprit, because he was always gonna click recover. So I think that was probably the turn that I should have done differently. But regardless, great game to Hunbi. We're gonna be waiting to see who we play in the playoffs, and that's gonna be the elimination rounds. We are gonna be having, I think, 16 courses in playoffs. So that's gonna be quite a few rounds of playing before you can win the whole thing. But stay tuned for that. Thank you for watching. I'm gonna be see you guys later.